I had the opportunity to talk with the best free-to-play player in Rise of Kingdoms, and by the end of the video, you will get a different perspective on how to approach the game. Link to his channel will be in the description below, so make sure to check it out after the video. Now, without further ado, let's jump into it. How did you get into Rise of Kingdoms?
Well, I just sort of saw it in like the Google App Store. I didn't really play much mobile games before. I think one of the long mobile games I played was Marvel Contest of Champions, which is nothing like this game, honestly. But I
Yeah,
played like one or two mobile games for a long time. I quit, and then I, eventually picked up other games, and now I'm here. So I'm enjoying this game for now. We'll see what happens in future updates and the status of this game. As it goes forward with the future patches, future updates.
yeah.
So yeah,
I think the future's looking good.
for
From
the
a year,
most part, I think
yeah.
I think recently they've made a lot more stronger commanders, which I personally like because it makes it easier for me to get kill points. I feel like that actually sort of levels the playing field for me because I can max those commanders. Like I have most of the meta commanders maxed. I have Nevsky max, Scipio max, Zook max, Joan, Luce. I have like all the meta commanders maxed. So I have quite a decent advantage even playing with whales or like medium spenders because I have so many good commanders maxed, so I can actually play at
Yeah,
their level more or less.
yeah, I can see that. How many heads you got right now? Since you're already
Not
on
that many.
that
Let me
topic.
check.
Yeah, you
I'm
ready
at
ready for the new calves?
300, so not that many, but I'll 100 spin probably one wheel, and hopefully I'll have enough to get close to maxing it. But probably won't have enough when it comes out.
Yeah, I think the new calves should be around like your first pass opening. Actually,
No, no,
no,
I
no,
think
no.
it's closer to a month. Closer to a month from now.
Yeah, maybe. Wait, what KVK is this again? Stratagem?
This is stratagems. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
stratagems.
I don't know the timeline for this one.
I have the. Let me look at it in our Kingdom Discord real fast. I have the
Oh,
dates. I think our first pass opens. We probably won't get fighting during the first pass though. Um,
wait,
KVK.
is the Diplo done already?
Oh, the Diplo's done. It's gonna be top versus bottom in our KVK.
Alright.
But unfortunately, there's been some drama going on with one of the camps. What the camp?
Oh,
Which one is it? 3125. This kingdom in Daybreak, who are facing off against in the first zone.
yeah.
A small group of their players, like 20 players, they're sort of doing a mini civil war. They're like, oh, we don't want to fight 2268. Unfortunately, I don't have the screenshots here. They're on our Discord. Oh, here it is. You see this? So this is 3125. Good evening, everyone. We don't mean to be riders, but the domain failed and our diplomacy for the collision is very bad. I'm very disappointed. Can we fight 2268? I think it's just killing us in KVK to fight them. We will eliminate all players who interfere. So basically, that group of players in 3125
Yeah,
who is facing off against us in the first zone,
yeah. They don't want
they're
that smoke.
saying they don't want to fight us. Yeah, they don't
Yeah,
want to fight
yeah.
us. But the majority of this kingdom, 31 to 25, want to fight us. They're also at 22 to 50. So this is a
Yeah, I know
two-kingdom
that
camp.
kingdom. I know that kingdom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's unfortunate. We'll see how it's gonna go from here. Probably Diplo is being talked over right now as we speak.
Yeah.
But yeah, hopefully it goes well. Because 3125 was actually doing very good in the Marauders phase. Like their activity was higher than ours for sure. So I was sort of looking forward to fighting them, and then I saw what was happening today, and I was like, oh well, you know.
Yeah. I think
Yeah.
I think some drama was inevitable when it comes to like you guys. You're now the content creator kingdom, so it's
Right.
it's
Just sort
bound
of
to
happened.
happen.
So
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
There's always drama. There's always drama.
Yeah.
My highest power was almost 82 million, so
That's quite
I'm
low, actually.
quite low. I don't
Yeah.
keep it that high. Actually, I might push higher power if I plan to do 5 marches next KVK, but it all depends when the next gen cav comes entirely. Highest deads, not that high, obviously, 12 mil. I'm more of a field-oriented player, right? I have a lot of kill points,
Yeah.
so
Obviously.
I mainly play for field for the most part. Like last KVK, I think I had 1.4 mil deads, almost all T5s.
Mhm.
So that's like
Yes.
13 mil, 14 mil power loss. So it's okay. I mainly focus field, so
Yeah.
it's my
So,
thing.
so do you use farms to get your deads?
Yeah, I have 11 farms. 6 are linked to, or 5 are linked to this account. I have 6 on another account.
Damn.
They're pretty good farms. I mean, you can see most of them are above 10 mil power. They're all these ones lower power. I just pushed to City Hall 25. This lucky stall actually just like recently.
Mm-hmm.
So I do want to bring them into Lost Kingdom eventually to start farm filling. But for now, these are my lower power. I started these more recently, like maybe 5 months ago, I'd say. So they're just up there now. But yeah, I do farm fill. I'd say my biggest farm has probably 1.5 mil T4. My smaller farms probably have around 700k each.
Mm-hmm. At what point in time did you like realize, hey, I need to make an army of farms to sustain it?
Oh, once you realize how much resources you're using in KVK, because you look at your hospital, right, and you see, oh my god, my hospital, how many resources am I using? Like,
Yeah,
you
if it
realize how
T5,
bad it
man.
is.
Uh,
Yeah, yeah. When I was using T4, it was okay because it didn't cost as much. But then I went to T5s and I started feeling like full T5 marches. I was like,
yeah.
my resources, I need more. I
It.
need more. So I actually started these 4 more farms recently because I realized if I eventually get more marches and be running all T5, I will definitely need more farms to keep up with that.
So is 11 the sweet spot, or how many would
Um,
you need?
I would say 11 is good for me. Usually in the off season, I can farm about 15 to 20 billion, which
Mm-hmm.
is about how much I use for half of KVK, or maybe 3/4 of KVK, at my current rate. It depends how much fighting I get in KVK. Last KVK I used 26 billion resources for 2.5 bill skill points. That was
Yeah.
this KVK. But that was a very expensive KVK. I was using full T5 against 2429, which is a very strong Imperium right now. They got a very good migration in. Props to them. So that last KVK was definitely painful. This one will be more, I wouldn't say
Relax.
easy, but yeah, definitely more relaxed.
Yeah.
Just because we're not facing against crazy Imperiums anymore. So yeah, but this one I think I have enough resources at least for maybe 2 bill. I have like 16 bill resources right now. I think that's enough for 2 bill this KVK.
Is there a personal goal you want to reach when it comes to kill points,
Um,
or just as much as possible?
as much as possible. I don't want to reach a goal and then be like, oh, there's not enough fighting for me to reach the goal. I don't want to be disappointed. I'll just say however much I can get in the KVK. That's all.
All
However
right,
much I can get.
fair enough. I like it. So why did you choose to actually be free to play?
Uh, I didn't really want to spend money because I feel like if I spend a little money, I'm gonna keep spending money. So I was like, I don't want to
Yeah.
keep like spending and spending to keep up with the game. And eventually, I realized I don't actually need to spend. My account's pretty good. I can stabilize. Once I got to SOC and I played my first SOC, though, I was like, I sort of regret not spending because not having good tech really hurts me. Really hurts me, especially in, like first zone of KVK is really brutal for me. Like last KVK, I used 15 billion resources in the first zone. First zone alone, I was like, oh my god, help me. Like it was painful. Mainly because you don't have the T5 healing
Yeah,
reduction,
yeah, special medicines, yes.
the special medicine. It's really brutal using full T5. I maybe should
Yeah.
use T4, but at the same time, I can't really afford to use T4 against Imperiums. They just shred my marches, so I couldn't really afford to do that. Maybe this KVK I'll consider it, but I upgraded most of my T4s, so I don't know. We'll see.
Hmm. How do you train T5s all the time, or do you train T4s and then upgrade them?
Currently, yeah. I mean, I trained. I usually train T2s and then I upgrade them over time, or I just train T4s and then I upgrade them in the Bastion quest during KVK. Pre KVK, I usually just train T2s and upgrade them. Yeah. Because we were trying to keep power low. Actually, I mean, we should have kept power low, but then we migrated in that group from 2605, and the rest is history. So.
Hmm. So is that the reason why you don't go beyond 80 million power, really? Just,
Um,
just to
it's
be.
it's mainly to keep my goals lower, I guess, and mainly because I guess I could go higher. Yeah, I could go higher. When I get to 5 marches, I ideally want maybe 1.4 million cav.
Mhm.
So yeah, eventually I'll push for that. I'm not sure when though. It depends, I guess, when we get next gen cav. I have a lot of material saved up for a third cav set, so eventually, I think I will be pushing for 85 million power, I'd say, but that time might come later.
Nice. So what's your current setup of your marches? You use four marches? Or
Yeah, I use 4 marches. Let me show you real fast. Shadow Legions is just sort of hitting my base also. So
yeah,
I
yeah.
use.
Take your time.
So I use Huo William, Scipio Luce, Nev Joan, and Zoo Kerman. I only use 4 marches. My 5th march is just usually to get runes or to fill rallies or garrisons.
Yeah,
That's it really.
I noticed your Huo is not expertise, so just because of the reset.
I don't. Yeah, I think it's too costly to, at some point, somehow trigger this. Resetting the rage. It will really mess up my sort of skill cycles. I have William with it. I really like what William brings to my other marches in that it basically rage buffs all my other marches, so they're constantly casting their active skill basically as fast as possible. So I think resetting the rage on Huo and in turn not getting my William skill cycles off is going to be really detrimental to me.
Understood. But with the new Cav coming up, what's the lineup gonna be? Are you gonna replace someone, or are you gonna add?
I am going to probably add. I think I'm going to do 3 Cav, 1 infantry, and 1 archers. That's my preferred setup right now, I'd say. Mainly because I think Cav offers a lot of flexibility, a lot of it's fast, right? So it can keep up with my other marches, as well as it's good at picking off marches, I realized, as well as positioning in balls. I'm really good at positioning with Cav and balls just because of the march speed. So I think 3 Cav is pretty good for my playstyle, I'd say.
Yeah, march speed is really important.
Right.
For free to play. I know that myself. But
and the nice thing, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, you go ahead.
So I was gonna say, like, the nice thing about going 3 Cav also is that Cav is in a really good spot right now, I'd say. Huo, Nevsky, Joan, all of these commanders I feel like are very top tier still. Like, my Joan kills are 112 mil, my Nevsky kills are 113 mil. So this is my highest performing march out of all the marches. My Huo isn't as good, 21 million, mainly because it's like a buffer march. It's just there to like provide the buffs, and as well as the slow. The 50% slow Huo provides is very nice, actually. It's sort of underrated feature.
Yes, it is.
But yeah, I feel like Cav is in a very good spot right now, and I feel like 3 Cav marches will be extremely strong once the next gen Cav comes out, at least. So I think this is a choice I won't regret as long as the new gen Cav isn't like Sargon or something. So
poor Sargon. Yeah.
Yeah, Sargon.
Yeah, but I mean, this is just me, but I feel always that Calorie has been the most overpowered troop type.
When I entered SOC, people were using XY Nev, and Guan Scipio. Those were like the meta pairs. XY Skiv, Guan Scipio, and I think Boudica YSG. Those were 3 meta marches. Yeah. Out of those 3, I felt like none personally impressed me. So when I entered SOC, I started using Scipio YSG, and then I held off for a very long time. And then when Joan came out, I like maxed Nev Joan, and then I waited a little longer. Right? I waited a little longer, and then what came out after that? I forget what came after that. I think I saved for a long time, and then I maxed
Zuge.
Yeah, I think I maxed Zuge, and then I used Boudica Zuge. That was a horrible march, in my opinion. That was like, I hated that march.
Why?
Yeah. It was mainly just the fact that Boudica did not get many kills. At the same time, I only had a 5.51 Boudica, but as you can see, only 31 mil kills. So it was not a high performing march for the KVKs, which I use it in. This is not the gear I had. Also, I had this gear on. I had probably 2-piece DB Dragon Breath with Flag and Horn, and it was still too slow. Didn't do enough damage. I wasn't feeling it. What are my Herman kills at right now? Let me see. My first KVK using Herman, and I already have 14.3 mil, so not bad.
Well, like half a Boudica, yeah.
Yeah, I was using Boudica for at least 3 or 4 KVKs, I think. So Boudica was not impressing me. But Herman is good. Herman is very good. The problem is he doesn't get a lot of kills by himself. He's more of like a sort of debuffer with the poison stacks. Yeah. Zug does carry the march very hard. Zug hits pretty hard damage-wise, as well as this 50% less damage for 3. Debuff is very nice as well. Yeah. I really like Zug. My only problem with archers is, of course, the march speed. But yeah, I'll probably go 3 cav in the future. I do have the Twilight Fall skins as well, which is pretty good for mixed troop type players.
I have it
Maybe
too.
I sort of maybe regret not getting the Divine Abode skin. It'll take me a while to find it, but it's like 10% cav defense. But I didn't realize how good cav would be going forward as well. So
Yeah,
who knows?
I have that
Maybe
thought too, but it takes
yeah.
takes so long now to get it. So I feel like now you want to get the tiers for your accessories first.
Right. I do have quite a few accessories. Also, I have how many rings? I have currently 3 horns and 2 rings. So I'm probably gonna get maybe 1 more horn next KVK, and then we'll see what I do from there. I'm not sure. I might get another. Actually, I wanted to finish my cav set. Now I think about it. I want to finish. It's on my CC. I wanted to finish this cav set. I wanted to get the set weapon from the KVK shop and then make that maybe. My cav set is getting me performing pretty well.
Yeah, it looks clean.
Yeah.
So
my Scipio is hanging in there. It's not the best gear, but
yeah, the march speed.
Yeah, I went for the march speed.
And the crit horn. Yeah, I see you. Nice.
Horn, yeah. Some people say it's not that good, but I still don't mind it.
What did you choose infantry though?
Why did I choose infantry?
Yeah. I mean for the horn.
Some people say that Luce will sort of overrage or something. What's it called? Like this may cause it to overrage or something. But I was like, it's okay. I mean, I don't mind overraging particularly much, just because I prefer overraging to underraging, if that makes sense. Because if you're not hitting your rage cap, or like getting close to the rage cap at least, you're not casting your skill cycles fast enough. So you know about the rage cap, right? Also.
Yeah, it's 220.
Yeah, 220, and basically, so I would prefer to generate around 200 rage every turn. That means I can cast my active skill around every 5 turns. So I prefer to generate as much rage as possible, if that makes sense.
It does
on all my marches. So that's why I have William in my march. That's why I have like 3 horns. I'm probably getting the 4th. So I prefer to get as much rage as possible. I even considered getting drums, but that might be a talk for later. About if I want to do drums yet.
Yeah, if you want to do drums, you need to have at least 3 in the lineup.
Yeah. I'm not sure yet, so we'll see about the drums. But I'm gonna get horn on. I like horn a lot. I feel like getting my skill cycles faster does get me a lot more kill points overall.
Yeah, I think since you already have like how many, 2 or 3?
2 or 3 what? Drums or
horns? Yeah, 3.
I have 3 horns and 2 rings right now.
Yeah, it's easier for you to upgrade them now than to get drums.
I'm considering it, but I'm not sure yet. I will be going to 5 marches soon, though, at some point. I'm at that stage almost. 5 marches is a little worse for me efficiency-wise, just because I use my 5th march to like grab a rune, and then what I do is I actually switch from the attack rune or like the fighting rune to a healing rune. So I grab a healing rune, and then I switch back to the fighting rune, so I get like maximum efficiency. So like I get an extra 15% healing speed, then I heal my hospital, then I switch back to my war rune, then I go back out to fight. So I'm getting as much efficiency as I can with that 5th rune, but I will be getting more kill points now if I add a 5th march, but at the cost of some efficiency, right? So some trade-offs.
Okay, I haven't heard this, but do you do that only if the runes are very close to each other? You're not really like going from one shrine to another or something?
No. So I usually look for, if there's not a 15%, I just go to somewhere where there's a 10%, and then I grab whatever the war rune is next to the 10%. There's usually another decent war rune next to the 10% or 15%.
So how do you heal? Do you heal in increments? Or...
Oh, no. When my hospital's full, I just go here and I hit. I can't do it now. I just hit heal all. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Nice.
Mainly because my hospital fills up way too fast for me to back shield. So I just, when it's full, I just click heal all and just go back out.
Yeah. I mean, you already know this, but I noticed myself when I use 5 marches, like when I try to attack and the marches try to circle around the target, it gets out of position way too fast.
Oh yeah, you're right about that.
So yeah, I found like myself using 3 marches is like the sweet spot. Like,
3 marches?
I use 4, I use 5. I noticed I mean, to be fair, I do use mostly infantry, so it's easier to get out of position.
Mm-hmm.
But I noticed when I use fortify, I get way, out of position more often than using 3, for example.
It does happen a lot. That's something I do pay attention to. Like if you fight, you notice. Did I send a full march? I sometimes am able to like pull back and reposition my marches. So like, let me show you real fast. I'm sending on like just something to attack a barbarian.
Mm-hmm.
So if I notice a march is getting out of position or sort of going too far back in the ball, what I usually like to do is, hopefully these marches don't delete this, but like sort of select the march and pull it back. So usually there's always one march that somehow dives or does something dumb. I have pretty good field control of like my marches. You can see my Aethel is already going back. I just pull that back like that.
Yeah.
That's all
See,
I do really, and then I just go back.
That's exactly what happened.
Yeah, that it is what happens, and then you just got to keep paying attention and pulling the mark. It is annoying, of course, but I think it's still. Oh, my marches are dying. I didn't send enough troops. I think it's still valuable to have those. Yeah, I didn't send enough troops for this. I was trying not to kill the barb too fast, but you can see I just try to keep repositioning my marches. I can also use hotkeys, like I press 3 there and drag it back.
Yeah, hotkeys much easier.
Yeah, right. And yeah, I mean I can't even kill this barb, can I? But it is a problem. It is annoying, obviously, but I think the more marches you bring, the more kill points you can get, as long as they're good quality marches. So I think it's still valuable for me, at least, to run as many marches as possible, because KVK only lasts, 2 months basically. So that's all the time I have to get as much kill points as I can, right? So
yeah,
I prefer to bring as much as I can, as long as it's quality, not quantity, right?
Yeah. Especially the first zone nowadays in KVK, the first zone openings are usually hit the hardest, at least from my experience recently. Before,
yeah, I mean, first zone they do go a little hard. I think Kingsland is still usually where the main fight is, as long as they don't drain yourselves before Kingsland. But yeah, first zone they do go a little hard, but some kingdoms just like to fort, and we actually 2-6-8 is a very defensive kingdom. So like during our downtime, we just put up forts and flags and just sort of farm fill. So I would say we don't go super hard in our first zone. We just sort of fight, and then if we realize we're at a disadvantage, we sort of slowly concede the zone and fill with our farms and stuff. So yeah, first zone is good fighting. Like I got like 1 bill KP in my last KVK in first zone, but it really depends, I guess, how long your kingdom can fight, how long you can manage, what's your kingdom's capabilities, I guess.
Yeah. I remember fighting against your kingdom in the Kingsland when I was in 2755. That was like a year and a half ago.
I heard about that. Yeah. I wasn't I just migrated here recently, so I migrated here right before the 2429 KVK, the one we just had. So I mean, pretty new.
But yeah, what was your first kingdom?
My first kingdom was 2270. I have reports from all the way back then. 2270. It is now a dead kingdom, unfortunately. So 2270.
Rest in peace.
That was an interesting kingdom, mainly because I was fighting against 2268 in that kingdom. So I have reports against Peacemaker actually from that. I was at 2270 at the time. There's also this was a interesting KVK because there were 3 Krakens in this KVK. One of them was Peacemaker. The other one was Al Haitham. If you know him, he's in 1960, and the other one was Boom Boom 3. He's also in 1960 now.
Mm-hmm.
But they all started around the region of 2270, around that region. Al Haitham, I think he's still in 1960, right? Yeah, he's in 1960. This guy was from my kingdom, my first kingdom, and Boom Boom 3, who is also a pretty big whale. He's definitely a Kraken, actually. Also in 1960. He started in 2273.
Yeah, I think I remember seeing this name on the screen.
Yeah, these guys are pretty big whales. They both started like around my region. Yeah.
Nice. How many kingdoms did you switch? You had that one?
So I started in 2270, then I migrated to 2335. I stayed in 2335 for a very long time, like 6 or 7 KVKs.
Oh, okay.
So 35 FD, yeah. I stayed there for a long time. It's my good friend Brute, actually. I'm trying to bring Brute to my kingdom eventually. But yeah, I stayed there for a long time. It was like a B-seed kingdom. There were not many spenders, but the nice thing about that kingdom was, I guess, I got like front row TP spots. I got like titles I wanted. I even got general for a long time. So that kingdom, they gave me sort of a lot of bonuses, you could say, because I was a very good fighter in that kingdom. So
Yeah, it definitely has perks if you have a kingdom that's actually you have a community.
right,
Have
I
fun
don't
with.
think I have. I like reports, but it's gonna take too long to find all the reports. But yeah, actually, that community was like mainly Vietnamese, but I had a few English players there I really like playing with. Shout out to my friend Brute in that kingdom. I'm trying to bring him here still.
Hmm.
This is the kingdom actually. It's like 11 build power, one alliance. Oh, they're in KVK right now, but I think they're getting betrayed, unfortunately. So
Oh,
it sucks. It sucks.
what seed are they now?
I think they're still B seed, maybe even low A, but they're hovering around that area.
Hmm. When it comes to commanders, you mentioned the new calves, and you invested into Nevsky and Zuge. How do you decide who are you investing into? When do you skip? When do you invest? What do you look for?
So I guess I'm mainly, first of all, I look at their skills. So I thought Pool was good, mainly because of how much utility it brings, the 50% march speed reduction, a lot of skill damage, and it's also a little tanky, 30% defense. It's like an upgrade to XY. So I was like, I might as well invest in this guy because he's the best option for 2 cav marches.
Hmm.
Um, I usually just look at the meta commanders, and if they're good enough to invest in, a lot of people say it's worth investing in, then I'll just max it for the most part. Like, for instance, Sargon, a lot of people were saying he's bad. I even had a friend who was an infantry main. He uses 3 infantry marches.
Yeah.
And he was saying Sargon is my greatest regret. So I was like, all right, time to skip Sargon then. So that's what ended me to doing 2 cav over 2 infantry or 2 whatever. So I'm currently at 2 cav, 1 infantry, and 1 archers, and I'll probably expand to 3 cav just because I like cav so much right now.
Understandable. But while you're still developing, what was your mindset when it came to T5 or VIP? I see your
Oh,
VIP
so
16.
right. So I went for, this might come a little weird. I went for VIP 15 first. So I was very active early game, mainly because of the COVID days. I was gathering a lot of gems. So I actually went for VIP 15 before T5. I might think this is a sort of dumb decision, but I got building speed and research speed. And at that point, I was like, I can push T5 now. So once I got VIP 15, I started pushing T5. And then I won a bunch of game of powers, as you can see. I pushed a lot of power, mainly just because I need to get T5 anyways. So I won a lot of game of powers. It's one here,
Yeah.
it's one here. These
Actually,
were all when I was pushing T5.
yeah,
Go ahead.
I actually respect this decision more because usually people do this for Zenith.
Yeah, I don't like Zenith. I
Yeah.
think Zenith is a mistake because it's usually a one type troop type skin, right? So it's primarily for rally leads that
Yes.
need the extra stats for that one troop type rally or garrison. So Zenith
Exactly.
does not benefit you much as a field player, unless it's an all troop type skin, which is very rare. I think the last one was like 10% attack, 12% all attack, or something like that. And I was like, nah, I don't like that. I'd rather have Twilight Falls. So it's very rare for an all troop type skin to come to Zenith, and I think even then the last one wasn't good enough for me to go for. Personally, I would wait for a all troop type defense or health skin myself.
Okay. Reasonable. I agree with pretty much everything. I made this. Actually, made a video about it and actually got some weird reactions. Like, hey, why do you object so much? And for the
Oh,
reasons you
I
just said, it's very like min-maxing type of
also,
scenario.
one more thing: if you push that much power in Zenith, that just makes your rankings, not rankings, but
Yeah,
requirements in KVK so much higher,
exactly.
and most people can't even keep up with those requirements. Like if you're pushing 30 mil power, that means your requirements are going to be much higher. Like you're going to be struggling to meet those requirements sometimes,
Yeah,
and
and
that just might make you dead weight or something. So
you ran out of speed ups in the process and
yeah,
resources.
you lose so much speed ups, resources doing that. It's a lot of investment, and usually the return is not worth it, in my opinion. So
Yes, absolutely. Nice. So on your channel, I actually saw all your videos basically. You have actually made a video in 2 parts regarding field fighting tips. So
mm-hmm. Yeah,
Is
yeah.
is there is there any quick tips you could show us? I mean, tell us or show us.
It was. I think the one thing that was most important in my guide was like making sure. I mean, this is sort of a reiteration. I don't want to reiterate too much. Making sure that your marches are configured in a way so that your slowest marches first, and then you put your faster marches after that. So your first march that comes out is your slowest, or usually your archer march, because you
Hmm.
want that march to arrive first, and then if you have like cav or infantry, that should come after that in the presets. Um, Besides that, I'd really just suggest watching streamers that know how to field fight and making sure you're sort of taking notes when they do it, because a lot of people in this game do not know how to field fight correctly, do not know how to position their marches. I think that's mainly due to maybe watching Chisgul or some. I'm not disrespecting Chisgul or anything, but like,
Like whale,
they,
you know.
yeah, they whale. They think they watch too many whales. They don't watch free to plays or low spenders that like they're more their play style, right? You have to
Yeah.
play like people that are your playstyle, not like whales or. There are a lot of content creators that I would say are a little far away from the expectations of where normal players should be. So,
Uh-huh. Okay. Speaking of that, what device do you play? PC?
oh, yeah, I'm on a PC. I'm on a laptop right now. I
Yeah,
only play on PC for war. If I'm doing farms, I'll do farms on a phone because farms are faster on a phone.
indeed. Yeah. Okay. Same thing basically here. Let's see. I'm actually learning a lot myself. I like this. What would you say is or are one of the biggest challenges for free-to-play players now?
Challenges for players now, you said?
Yeah.
Mm, I'd say just realizing that the meta in this game moves very fast. I'd say so. You have to know when or how to invest in commanders. Like you can't just like min max commanders. Like if you invest 180 heads into a commander and just leave it there, you're obviously not going to do so well. I see a lot of command people that say, "Oh, I'm gonna just 5-5-1 this commander and then just leave it there." That's usually not good enough. Like you see, I maxed almost all my commanders I use. I even maxed Herman recently. So I almost max every single commander I work on. I'd say the exception is like for me, Boudica. I left at 5551 mainly because I didn't like using her. So one suggestion I would definitely say is being able to know your gold head income, knowing how many gold heads you're getting, making sure you're able to max the meta commanders and the good meta commanders. Like you shouldn't be working on William. William is a good commander, but you shouldn't be working to max him like Guan. Guan is past his prime. I definitely say you shouldn't be working on maxing Guan. You should be working on good meta commanders. And new Cav is coming out probably in a month, I'd say. So making sure you are saving gold heads for that, or even Lu is still very strong. So Lu is okay maxing. You should know which commanders are safe to max, which commanders you should be saving for. By the way, approximately I'd say about 2.5 months between every commander release. I'd say
Yeah,
is approximately how. Yeah,
yeah, 56
that's
days.
yeah, that sounds about right. About two
No,
and a
no.
half weeks to 3 months is about the range of how every new commander comes out now. So just making sure you know when to save up and when to invest in commanders.
Yeah, but recently we had this very fortunate, I would say, like window of time where we had the engineering commanders, and
Oh right, we got the
we got
ranged commanders and we got the
the
city garrison
leadership.
commander. This guy.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So we had more time to accumulate. But now, when it comes to do meta cavalry, after that it's new meta infantry and then archers.
Right. That's
Uh,
actually something I also wanted to discuss. That the new meta infantry will probably be a smite. I'm most likely confident it'll be a smite commander. So
yeah,
I'm assuming the Scipio will eventually become less relevant because he's skill damage, and whoever comes out with for infantry will probably synergize better with Luce.
yeah, probably yeah. But I'm thinking Sargon is gonna hit the bench.
Oh,
Yeah,
Sargon.
most
Yeah,
likely.
I mean
Most likely.
Sargon is so bad. I can't even see him being used. I mean, infantry mains will have no choice but to use Sargon, but like I can't
Yeah,
see him use.
yeah.
Also, for anybody also curious, Nevsky was also added to dailies as well as Scipio.
Hmm.
Where are they? But I maxed them, so they're all the way at the end, right? Nevsky, Scipio. I think one more commander, but I forget. Those are I'd say Nevsky is still okay to work on, personally. I think Nevsky will go to second cav march. It's hard to say, though. It's really hard to say. But I think 3 cav will be really strong. So
I wouldn't be surprised if they are, honestly. And yeah, Nevsky is still very tanky.
yeah, Nevsky, I cannot believe Nevsky got released. Like how OP his skills are. March speed, health, attack, defense, damage bonus, damage reduction. This one is skill damage, insane skill damage boost, and his expertise is even
It's
gaining
good.
30%
Yeah.
health. Every skill is ridiculously good on Nevsky.
Yeah.
So
It's been like 2 years now.
it's been a while. There was like a Nevsky, then there was Joan, and then
Yeah.
there was Huo. It's been like quite a few Quana releases. So between
It's still
when
gonna be
Nevsky came
relevant.
out.
Still
Yeah,
gonna
he's
be
still
relevant.
I definitely gonna be relevant. That's why I'm considering 3 cab. I think 3 cab will be very solid just because Nevsky is still performing at a top tier level commanders wise.
For sure. When it comes to equipment, what's your thought process? Do you equip
Thought process.
like
Yeah,
do you
yeah.
min max one march? Do you work with multiple? Like
Sure. Give me a second. So what I usually think about. So my first thought process is what march do I think is going to get me the most kills, and which march do I think I also need to prioritize as my like squishy marches, or like which march do I think is gonna melt? So I recently just built out my archer march. I was like, I have 4-piece dragon breath. This is probably good enough for now. I'm working on awakening these boots to 5 because I want more march speed. But I was like, this march is probably good enough as it is right now. I have 47% defense, 11% health, so I'm like, good enough. It's a little tanky, so I just wanted to be able to be out on the field for a long time because Zoob deals a lot of damage. Herman also debuffs. This march is good enough for me, so I'm going to leave it. And I'll work on my Nevsky march, which has been getting me a lot of kills. So my Nevsky march is also already pretty good, as you see, a lot of stats, a lot of health, a lot of defense. So I'm eventually going to upgrade the Heart of the Saint to the KVK weapon, which is the Sacred Dominion. What's it called?
Dominion. Yeah.
Yeah, Sacred Dominion. So I'm eventually going to upgrade that for my Nevsky march because I realized this march is getting me a lot of kills. It's also still very tanky. So this march is very solid. The gear, I feel like, is also very good. So that's my first priority right now. My second priority is probably the Archer Boots, which I mentioned, Icon Awakening 5. Then my third priority is probably a ring on my Kuo March for faster skill cycles. And then I don't know where I'm going to go from there. Maybe after that, I'll consider a 5th Cav March. So when you look at your gear, I would definitely consider what marches are getting you the most kills. My kills are mainly from my Nev Joan and my Scipio Luce marches. But my Scipio gear is almost basically done. I wouldn't even upgrade past the Crocs Humility just because the Eternal Knight I don't think is an upgrade. I've seen people say also the Leadership Pants might be an upgrade, but I'm not going to consider Leadership Pants for this. So I'm just going to leave the Shadow Legions this time. I'm just going to leave my Infantry March as is. Nevsky, I'm definitely going to upgrade this at some point. And yeah, that's more or less where I'm at with my gear. When you consider your own gear, I definitely say for infantry, the 4-piece march for the 10% march speed is very good. You definitely need march speed. So ideally, you want the 4-piece march for infantry. Cav, it should look generally like this. 2-piece set.
This is the best slot.
Ash, Navarre's Khan's Ringhorn. I have more or less the same here, just minus the Ringhorn. And archers, there's a lot of possible options or build paths. I'd say I'm going for the 6-piece Dragon Breath. Some people also say the 2-2-2, the 2-piece Leadership, 2-piece KVK, and the 2-piece Dragon Breath is the best. But I think the difference between that and the 6-piece is not that far off. So I'd say for archers there are a lot of build paths. For cavalry, infantry, I'd say it's more concrete, set in stone. But yeah, just focus generally on the marches you think will perform the best for you. The best meta marches that will get you the most kills. That's what I'd definitely advocate for.
Definitely makes sense. So I noticed you tiered up your boots. Would you say boots are like the priority for free to play just because of the march speed?
Let me first start by saying I don't recommend awakening your boots unless you are very far along with your marches. Like I have 4 marches. I feel like I'm pretty far in that I can do this. But if you don't have at least 4 marches, I wouldn't recommend doing this because you get a lot of kill points with 4 marches, I noticed. So I'm going to do this just because I want to balance out the march speed on all my marches. my Zug is definitely my slowest march. It lags behind a little, behind my other marches. Even with the crit flag, it's still way too slow. So I just decided I want this extra 10% march speed on my Zug march, just so I can somewhat keep pace with my cav and infantry marches. But I do not recommend doing this for the majority of players. Okay, do not recommend doing this.
Okay. Oh yeah, you said you gather gems for VIP 15. So
Yep.
about the gems, do you have events that you spend gems on? I assume you do.
Yeah. I just spent on more than gems. I actually just bought some things from the shop. Once again, this is not something I would recommend doing until you're like VIP 15. But I just bought out, what did I just buy? All the mats here, all the mats here, and I bought all the defense boosts, and I bought all the attack boosts. So I'm actually just getting ready for KVK now. So you see I have attack boost here. Oh, where's my defense boost? Defense boost, 28 expansions. So I'm ready for next KVK. That's what I just prioritized making sure that I have everything I need, or I think I'll end up needing for KVK. That's what I spend gems on. I also 100 spin egg event, and occasionally 100 spin the wheel events, usually just when there's new commanders that come out and I'm low on heads. But yeah, that's more or less where I spend my gems, I'd say.
I see you got a lot of them on hand. How do you
Gems?
get?
Yeah, decent
amount. Do you
usually
get? I see you gather them. Do you gather them on your main?
Yeah, I gather them on my main, usually during KVKs. I haven't entered KVK in like maybe a month now, but I had quite a few exiting KVK, probably like closer to 180, 190k exiting KVK, last KVK. So I'm down a little. I was doing the, what's it called? I actually trying to do in a mobilization the research quests. Where is it? Like these quests, and then because you have like extra research speeds because you're done with T5 tech. What I do is I start a research and then I cancel it. I like speed it up and then I cancel it. So I just end up using a lot of research speed ups that I'm not using, and I just use that for mobilization. Unfortunately, I use quite a few. Yeah,
I didn't know that.
Way, yeah, because you can do the high point quests. I usually did like the 200 quests, but there's none here right now.
Yeah, I get you.
For research, yeah, that's how I get high points. Even as free to play, you can get high points. Like 1500, I'm probably gonna end up 1800, which is it's okay. That's where I want to be, anyways.
Well, damn, I'm too late for this trick. I got my max everything ages ago.
Oh, sorry. Oh, you maxed the T5 siege everything?
Yeah, I'm like OCD. I can't stand not being finished. You know.
Yeah.
But damn, I didn't know that. But that's a pro tip right there. I never saw this. Like, never.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's definitely but it's mainly for later game players, right? That have a lot of research speeds accumulated. So early game players, they might be using research to still push T5. And even if you're like entering your first SOC, you might need those research speeds for Crystal Tech. So later on, you just have a bunch you don't use.
Yeah, I can attest to that. I had tons, and I'll never run out of them.
Oh, yeah.
Shame I can't like refund them like you can do with the building speeds when you enter KVK.
Oh, right. That'd be a nice feature, but doesn't look like they're gonna implement it, unfortunately.
Nah. Maybe I'll suggest it. Maybe I'll suggest it.
Yeah, that would be helpful. Free to play. Actually, this is something I also talked to. I was on Ploto's podcast last night, and he was. People were asking me, "Do you chain?" I do not chain. People think I'm crazy for not chaining, but I don't chain. I have a lot of speed ups. I do not need to chain. When also you consider the amount of crystal you get when you chaining in KVK, it's very, like it doesn't feel like it adds to much at all. So the reason I don't chain is I just 5 March gather gems. So one thing I suggest for free to play is you can chain if you want to, but I don't recommend doing it too much or you'll end up burning out. I definitely recommend staying away from chaining too much or you'll get tired of the game, you might get mad. I find barb chaining very tedious to do. So I do it sometimes, but very, very infrequently. And I sometimes just only chain the Kahars, like the sort of special low Hars that pop up in KVK. So I would recommend just get gem gathering because that's more relaxed. You can definitely just send out gatherers, check back later, send them out again. It's not something you have to be on constantly for like barb chaining. So one tip I give to free to play. This is my personal advice. Focus more on gem gathering over barb chaining, especially if you're in a high seed alliance. You'll definitely not need as many speed ups if you're just in a higher seed with a lot of spenders. Even when
Yeah,
I was in a lower seed, I was okay with speeds. So I don't know.
I'm guessing you're
Go ahead.
talking outside of KVK or in
No, no,
KVK.
no. In KVK, in KVK, I don't
Hmm.
chain at all. So I only gem gather, and when I gather gems, I only do it during KVK. That's mainly because the nodes in KVK are much bigger. So that means you, if you send them out, the gatherers, it takes like 30 or 40 minutes, and then you just check back again and send them out again. But if you're in Home Kingdom, generally when you gather gems, it only goes up to level 2 gem nodes. So that means you can only gather for like 20 minutes, and then you have to check again after 20 minutes. So it's like you have to be on a lot more if you're gathering gems in Home Kingdom compared to KVK.
Understood. But when it comes to in KVK, doing more barbs gets you more crystals.
It does. But the main reason I like to do barbs in KVK is because you get materials, and you don't get materials doing barb forts. So that's why I still do barbarians in KVK, but I don't barb chain because it's too tedious still. I just 5 March barbs, then I go back to gem farming. That's my personal style, at least.
Hmm. So what's your average crystal spent in a KVK when it's fight
Uh,
time? You know,
oh, when it's fight
approximately.
time.
Yeah, when it matters.
Okay, got it. First pass around 13 to 14 million. Second pass, which is like pass 7, usually in HA, maybe like I'm done with T2 tech, usually around 50 to 55 million. Then Kingsland, I'm around 65 to 70 million. That's around my general where I'm at in terms of crystal, approximately, right? Approximately.
Hmm.
It's mainly for HA, also Heroic Anthem, because I played HA a lot. I'm not sure. Timeline for Stratagems might be a little different, but that's generally for HA, which I've played the most.
I see. Okay, I'm trying to calculate. So does that mean how much AP do you have on hand? I know
I used
KVK
maybe
barbs cost a lot more than that regular barbs.
this is 37k,
Wow.
370k. This
Okay.
is 550k. So that's what 330k, up 370k plus
Yeah,
550k.
you got a lot.
That's about 900k. So still have a decent amount.
Okay. So do you do forts in the off season?
Yeah, I'm doing them actually right now. I do my own. We always do 1+1 rallies, which is basically one person
Yep.
hosts and one person joins. So everyone's doing 1+1 rallies.
Yeah,
Oh,
same
sorry.
same
There's a little.
thing here.
Yep. So that's all I really do during off season, which is pretty boring, and just farm on my farms. But we're all just waiting for KVK, right? So
Mm, okay. I'm still processing all this, man. I didn't know.
oh yeah,
I didn't know you didn't chain. Okay, I was surprised by that.
yeah. That was something a lot of people were surprised by, but
I
I
was
think it's
surprised.
not worth my time personally. I work, so when I come home, I don't want to suffer and chain. So I find gem gathering is a lot more relaxing. It's not annoying to do. The barbs always move away when you try to chain. It gets annoying, de-aggros. So I don't want to have to put up with that, and it's a pain for me. So
But you don't have to chain. Like you just have to find a group of barbs.
right.
2 to 3
But
barbs enough.
yeah.
Move on
But
to the next one.
the thing
Yeah.
is, I have to always be online. That's the problem, and I don't like staring at my screen all the time. Gem gathering, I just send out my gatherers, check back in 30 or 40 minutes, and then that's it. Send it out again. Find that a lot more easier for me, at least.
Thank you for your time. First and foremost, sounds like a very intelligent and well knowledgeable about this game. First and foremost, as well. And I wish you guys luck in your KVK.
All right. Thank you, Amir. You have a good time also.